Hello everyone, Rory here, and we've got our exciting next video up and coming for securing data with Azure Key Vault and encryption, all part of the series of Java and containers at Microsoft. So first, let's see exactly where we are and what we've covered so far. We covered security best practices. We went into network security. We looked at managing access and identity with Azure Entra ID. And now we're on to securing data with Azure Key Vault and encryption. And we want to start with a nice sample. So we've got Azure samples to do Java, Mongo, Akka. And in that sample here, we've got a container app. We've got actually two container apps. We've got a web one, and then we've got an API one. And the API one is going to go in and say, hey, I need to speak to a database. I need the right security. It's going to speak to the Key Vault. It's going to get the connection string, and then it is going to go in and create a to-do application that goes and stores to-do, buy milk, buy bread. So how does it actually do that? So I created a simple little a few diagrams and everything. So to start off, I need to tell you how you get started. Now I'm going to use Spring Security for here. So I'm going to use Azure Identity and also the Spring Cloud Azure Starter Key Vault secrets. If you pair those two, all you have to do really is, you create your resources with the bicep templates we have though, and then it injects everything for you. So it goes in there and injects where the Key Vault endpoint is, and then it also goes in, retrieves that from the Key Vault and gets, where's my Cosmos DB database? Now, it looks a little bit complicated, but you don't have to worry too much about this. Just on the application startup, it requests the access tokens, it fetches the secrets, it decrypts the secrets using your application.properties, and then it goes and creates the connection string with the MongoDB. And all this time, it's actually encrypted inside the container app. Once we finish that, now we're going into encryption, but we're speaking to the database through an encryption tunnel here. And then we establish our connection with the database, we retrieve the encrypted data there, and then we return and process the data there. But all the time, you need to actually have a policy to make sure that your secret's rotated to ensure that no one does anything nasty with those secrets, though. So what does our secret look like? This is our Cosmos DB connection string here. I've kind of removed it so you don't have to worry about it here. And this is stored inside the Key Vault. And it's pretty simple to access this. Now, we're going to use managed identities. Now, we've got a managed identity for the web and for the API. Now, the web one, the managed identity just kind of like pulls the image from the container registry here. You kind of need two, one that handles the web and one that handles the API. Now, for the API one, we're going to focus a little bit more on that because the API one actually has policies. Now, we want to use policies to make sure that we use role-based access control. So I've got my policy here. I've got the ID API. And then in here, you can see there when I click through it here, I've only accessed and I've only set get and list for the secrets permissions. That's it. So you want to also finally tune your secrets to make sure that you don't give too much permissions for that. Once you have that, then you can actually go check, wait a second, how am I speaking to the Cosmos DB database? Wow, I've got end-to-end TLS security, transport layer security. So it's secure there. So A for away. Now let's go into the demo. And for the demo, I'm just going to showcase, and you can actually get it running just with AZD up here. And I'm going to go into my demo here. And I've got my application running here. And I always want to buy some milk. It's always running out here. And then I want to go buy some bread. And I buy some bread here. And I can actually go in there and I can mark them complete. And you'll notice here that I've got end-to-end security in my container app and, well, in the database. And how do I check that? Now, this is plugged in, this example, into application insights. If I go refresh here, I can actually go in and see where my resources here. I start off with the web. I go into the API. I then retrieve from my Key Vault. Let's see, what is it retrieving here? First of all, it goes and says, give me all the secrets there so I can see, am I referencing the right secret? And then I can go into my get secrets, my Cosmos DB database here, and I can go see, wait a second, what is it actually retrieving here? It's getting the Cosmos DB secret here, and I can go in and drill down into those samples. And when you go into that, you'll see that, wait a second, it is running here. It retrieved it pretty quickly. So that's everything I wanted to show you. So I want you, call to action, really go in and try that sample. Let's go back into there. It's the Azure samples to do Java, Mongo, Akka. So you can start off with there. It's pretty secure. It's pretty easy to understand, and it comes with everything when you want to know about it. So best practices for Key Vault, you want to use managed identities. We saw there that we had a managed identity for web, and we had one with API, and we kind of made sure that those were the only things. We didn't really use Entra ID really to authenticate that could access our application. Then we also wanted to make sure we had a policy to soft delete and purge protection to make sure that, wait a second, we can cycle through it. And there's a lot of those nice settings when you go into Key Vault to make sure that you can do all of those things. And then finally, I want to emphasize using role-based access control for policies using least privileges. So don't forget to watch more of this series here. Also go into our Java application containerization and deployment ref cards. Make sure you go to the official documentation for container apps on the Learn site. And if you haven't already done it, sign up for JDConf. I'm going to be one of the hosts, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon there. Cheers, everyone, and see you in the next and final episode of the series.